Hello and welcome to the video. I'm going to go through, hopefully in order, who I met at Liverpool Comic Con May 2026, and in turn show you the autographs and photographs that I picked up, my purchases, and also I'm going to do like a mini ongoing review of the event in this video. So here we go, thank you for clicking on this video. So I got to the event around 8:30 and it supposedly opens at 9, although they do let people in slightly earlier than 9. Anyway, so I got through and went straight to Nell Fisher's line. So yeah, I joined the queue for Nell Fisher's photographs and it was all great, and I wasn't entirely sure what pose to pull, and I don't think she was either, so we just kind of naturally drifted into a thumbs up, and I actually really like this photo. I think it came out really well. So that was just kind of a spur of the moment pose. It just looks really happy and just natural picture, which I really like. So it was really great meeting Nell. So anyway, so that was finished, and then I had time just to run to the other venue because Alicia Silverstone, sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong by the way, people say it so many different ways like Alicia, so I apologize if I get that wrong. But I ran to the other venue, and luckily she was that popular. I know she was mainly there for the Saturday and just like a couple of hours maybe on a Sunday, so her line was pretty lengthy, which was helpful, so I just joined the line and there was plenty of time, in fact, to get that photo done. And so I finally got into there, and again, like I kind of just went up and was like, hi, it's amazing to meet you, thank you for being here and stuff. And she was just amazing, like she just looked at you and just gave you like the biggest smirk ever. And I was about to say, what pose should we do for the photo? And she just grabbed me and just like smushed my head against hers, as you will see in the photo. So that was like a really warm and just like, yeah, a really great interaction. And she's just super nice with fans. No like, you know, awkward, maybe let's just put our arm around each other or something like that. She was just like, hey, grabbed you and you were smushed for the photo. So that was really cool. And again, yeah, she is really awesome. So by this time in the day, I think we're around 10 to 11, because I believe Alicia's photo shoot was around 10:30. So by the time I actually got there into my photo, you know, it had been probably 20-25 minutes, and so the time I'd been given to go back to get Nell Fisher's autograph was 11:20, so I think I just headed back there, but finally got there and managed to get Nell Fisher's autograph, and she is really lovely. Again, she was super busy, and you could see that, you know, it was like maybe slightly overwhelming, but she's a true professional. And it was really great to meet her, and she was super warm and, you know, hi, how are you? And yeah, really great to meet her. And her mum was there too, and her mum was all smiley and really nice. So yeah. And so next, as I was in that building at that current time, Billy West was also in there, who is a huge voice actor, you know, Futurama fame, Scooby-Doo, Ren and Stimpy, lots of things like that. I love him for Doug, as part of my childhood. And so I headed to meet him. And he had quite a big queue too. He was super popular, but he was really cool to talk to and sign my picture, and even gave me like 3 lines in Doug Funny's voice, which was amazing to hear, like in person. He just gave me like a line from one of the episodes in the voice, and that was absolutely amazing. He was a super nice guy, you know, handshakes and smiles, and just seemed genuinely happy to be there and appreciative of his fans. So yeah, that was a really great experience. Okay, and so next on the agenda was Alicia Silverstone's autograph, and so yeah, my next stop was to go and line up for that. And I wasn't too far down the queue, so it wasn't too bad, and got to see her interact with some fans, and she is honestly super nice. Like, you know, there is a big thing about taking pictures, and it's a big no-no, but there were like, you know, a family, and the daughters of that family were just stood resting against the rail like a few feet from her, and they were just filming her, but she just looked up and smiled, and yeah, she was just really great. Like, it was a really great experience meeting her and getting her autograph, and that will be something I will cherish. And I do love that picture, by the way. It is like so sheer, it's unbelievable, and yeah, she's a total icon. So that was a great highlight of the day. And next to her line was then Gil Bellows, who was pay on the day, but was one I was definitely getting, and so I pretty much just walked up to his line, or not even a line because it was currently empty at that point, which I thought was crazy, and met him, and this was probably like my best interaction of the whole convention, and he is beyond the nicest guy ever. He's like ridiculously nice, and just gave me so much time. Not that I was like, you know, trying to be overbearing, we just got into a conversation and about Shawshank and his experience on the film and Stephen King, and he was telling me about some upcoming Stephen King projects and what it was like on set and what his life's been like since that film and stuff. So he was just unbelievably nice, stood up to meet me, shook my hand, you know. So that was like, you know, one of those surprises where you don't just go to meet the guest, you actually just interact with them too and have an actual interaction and conversation, and it was super nice. And he's such an integral part in one of my all-time favourite films, and it was like the perfect end to my first day at Comic-Con Liverpool, meeting Gil Bellows, aka Tommy from Shawshank Redemption. Day 2 started with going to Gillian Anderson's line, because I had a poster I purchased that I wanted to get signed, and she was the first guest that I actually booked when I purchased my tickets. So she was virtual queue, but guess what? There was a line when I got there. So I'm like, okay, what do I do about this? Because I heard people talking, saying that her lines were pretty crazy the previous day. So I was like, maybe I should just stay in this line. Because the crazy thing is, she had like 6 photo shoots that day and like 2 autograph sessions, which I thought weren't a lot, and some people in line, because I listened to a lot of conversations in line, by the way, for reasons I will tell you shortly. But yeah, a lot of people said it was because the event just prefer photographs because they're so fast, they just generate so much more money. But anyway, so I got into this line. This is like partly my fault because I didn't do enough research, but still, we were told that there was a virtual queue. So I went to get the virtual queue ticket, but once again was faced with an initial line and told that the virtual queue would start at 11:15. So I'm like, okay, so I got in the line and was waiting there for a while, and then as someone else was joining the line, heard the Monopoly person say to them, oh, by the way, it's going to be about 2 hours in this line. And I'm like, oh. But by this point, I'd already been there maybe 30 minutes. So I'm thinking, do I just sit this out and just bear it through and just get the autograph and then I can just go about my day and not worry about it? Or come back later and risk like a huge line? Because I don't know how big the batches of virtual tickets were. And obviously she was super popular at the convention, but again, it would have just been nice to start the virtual queues like they announced they would, and it happened to me on both days. So anyway, so I'm in this line, and yeah, it's pretty long, and we just sat there, and the reason is because she had a solo photo shoot, and then like I think a duo X-Files photo shoot, and then a group photo shoot, and then she was coming to sign for a period of time before more photo shoots, and then I think again one more autograph session maybe. I can't remember the full schedule, to be honest, but I think at the time it just seemed just a logical thing to sit there and just wait it out and hopefully just get it done as soon as possible. So she finally came back, and then once again the diamond queue begins to form, and usually, like I've seen nowadays, they tend to do like a few from a diamond queue and then let one of the standard tickets go, and that keeps both lines moving and kind of keeps people's sanity in check too, and I think that's the optimal way to do it. So we finally started to get filtered through, but by the time I got there, you know, it had been almost 3 hours I'd spent to get her autograph, which I know is not like a world record for sitting in a queue, especially at conventions. But considering you're there for like 9 hours, that's a third of my day gone, when I could have just had a virtual queue ticket and come back at that time. So it just seemed a little bit crazy that they didn't do what they said they were going to do. And so I finally get to the table, and again, this is not to like single out anybody like Gillian Anderson or any staff members or anything like that. So I get to the table, So while the ladies check in my like little post-it note that says one autograph, my poster's been passed over, and like Gillian just signed it in a place that I was really hoping not to get it signed. Like I had a specific location where I wanted to get it signed, but I literally had like zero time to say anything before the ink was on the paper. And again, I know she is well known for being really friendly and awesome at conventions, and I think maybe it was just because it was so damn busy. Like Liverpool Comic Con is beyond crazy now. Like I've been going for a few years, and even I can see like how much more busy it's getting every year. But she just did not look like she was entirely enjoying her experience there. Like I've seen a lot of people's photographs with her too, and it all just looks a bit wooden and serious, and yeah, she just didn't look like it was the place she wanted to be at that time. And my interaction with her wasn't bad or anything like that, but it was kind of forgetful, I guess. And I just kind of came away and, I don't know, in a way regretted just sitting there for 3 hours for kind of a non-experience, and just having the autograph in the wrong place on the poster. And again, you know, I'm not blaming anybody for that, it just happened as it was, but it just didn't fill me with much glee at the end of that interaction, I guess. So much so that I even said to my wife, I mean, hindsight is a great thing, and obviously you can't foresee everything, but part of me wishes I'd not purchased that autograph and maybe got a photo with Gil Bellows, for example, who was like a third of the price, and then had enough for something else. But again, that's just hindsight talking, so things are just the way they are. And again, nothing was like bad, or there was no like bad interactions or off vibes or anything. She just didn't seem that into it at the time, I guess, which is fine, you know, you're just paying for the autograph. But the autograph itself, I'm like, every time I look at the autograph, even though to be honest I haven't taken it out of the tube since I got home, it just kind of like, you know, when you look at the autograph, it just doesn't look right to me because it's not what I like kind of wanted. And I don't know, I just didn't have a second to be able to just say, oh, could you just sign it like where you are on the poster? So I don't know. But anyway, it just kind of left me feeling like maybe if any of you are interested, for example, or you know someone who collects autographs, then that might be one that I would actually consider selling. And it's not made out to me or anything, it's just her name and Dana Scully underneath. Obviously I will have to check that the autograph survived okay, but again, if anybody's out there who would be interested and lives in the UK especially, that would be helpful. I would be sure to obviously do you a good deal. Again, it's not that I have anything against Gillian Anderson, by the way, I love her and her work. It's just that, you know, to me, my autographs like mean something to me, and I can always, you know, differentiate a experience between meeting the person and the work they've done, but it's just not an autograph that I really feel proud to have in my collection, for lack of a better word, or I have no real instinct to like display it because it just looks off to what I wanted, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so feel free to leave a comment or contact me on Instagram if you'd be interested in a signed X-Files poster by Gillian Anderson, and I'll be sure to get some photos taken of that. But yeah, it was just a 3-hour window I would have spent differently had I, you know, had the benefit of hindsight, or foresight as I should say. So the only other guest I had to meet was Laura Prepon, and I was really excited to meet her, and my wife stood in line with me too, because she loves Laura from Orange is the New Black, and those lines were super popular with Orange is the New Black fans. Obviously I was there to get a picture of her as Donna from that 70s show, and the actual 8x10 I wanted to get signed wasn't available on the day, but she did have some extra that 70s show 8x10s there, so I went with this one because it was the closest to the one I wanted originally, and so there you go, there is my autograph from Laura Prepon, aka Donna. And so just to quickly round up my purchases, I also got this Star Wars t-shirt, which was pretty cool. and I got this little badge from Labyrinth of the Worm, and I also got this poster of the event from Monopoly merchandise. So yeah, as for the event, there were some ups and downs, and some time maybe that could have been better spent, but that's just how it goes. You have to buy the ticket and take the ride, as they say. So but yeah, it was really cool to meet who I met, and I had some really great experiences and have some great memories. So anyway, that's it, I finally believe. Sorry again if this is a long video. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. So until then, bye for now.